10 games that's worth to spend over than 100 hours playing. There are some games that's so good, or even has so much content, that we can spend so much time playing and doing different things in the game, like missions, exploration, secret items, or even challenges. And just remembering, we'll only talk about single-player games here. Hope you enjoy it. Click in the like and subscribe. Let's go.
Once we were many, now we are few. Hunters, killers of the world's filth, witchers, the ultimate killing machines. Among us, a legend, the one they call Geralt of Rivia, the White Wolf.
The Witcher 3 is a huge and complex third-person action RPG, with a great story mode, and even better DLCs, with an extra game mode inside the game called Gwent, a very fun card game. It was developed by CD Projekt Red, and released in 2015 to Xbox One, PS4 and PC, and in 2022 received the free upgrade to the new generation, and is now also available on Switch. It's all set in a huge open map, with amazing freedom to choose what to do, and how to do, with a lot of different endings, and ways to deal with the characters. That's the type of game that everyone should play at least once. Despite it has some problems, it's still one of the best games ever made.
Bring devastation. Each choice will lead to a greater evil.
Nothing more you could have done.
What are we gonna do? We need supplies.
Well, first of all, you're gonna stay here, and you are gonna get yourself warm. Now, I sent John and Micah scouting out ahead. Arthur and I, we're gonna ride out, see if we can find one of them.
And this?
Just for a short bit.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is an amazing and realistic experience on the American Western of the ending of the 18th century, with an impressive open world and story. The game was developed by Rockstar Games, and released in 2018 to Xbox One and PS4, and later to PC, and so far it didn't get an upgrade to the new generation, but works better on Series X or One X. The missions of this game are all unique, with an unbelievable character development through the story, and set in one of the most realistic open worlds the video games has ever seen. In case you enjoyed the experience this game gives you, you can easily spend over 100 hours only on the single-player mode trying to get everything. That's hard, but this game deserves.
We coat everything in moonshine, and then we light things up with these little fellers here. Thankfully, it ain't rained, and that old barn over there should go up like a torch.
At the back. Try to stay out of trouble.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is an impressive open-world action RPG, with plenty possibilities to choose which path you shall follow, and infinite build styles. The game was developed by Bethesda, and released in 2011 to PS3, PC and Xbox 360. But throughout the years this game got a lot of upgrades and new version, and now is available in every platform possible. The game is set in a fanciful medieval land, in a first, and also third-person camera, but to be honest, the third person is kinda strange, so it's better in the first-person mode, with all types of creatures, characters, weapons, and possibilities to choose what to do. The new Elder Scrolls is already announced, but I believe it's still going to take a long time to be released. I'd even say 2027 or later, but for now, if you didn't play Skyrim, you should. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the biggest adventure of Zelda series. The game is set in a huge open world, with infinite possibilities and a good story. The game was developed by Nintendo, and released in 2023 to Nintendo Switch, and so far it's exclusive of that console. What's bad for a side, cause it's a weak console, but Nintendo confirmed Nintendo Switch 2 already. That's going to be more powerful, and they'll probably launch a better version of the game there. The game follows Link, a young warrior that's usually searching a way to save the Princess Zelda, and here it's not much different, but this game is impressive in its details, with a huge open map and infinite things to do, and imagine that everything in this game can be done in a different way, and no, the game won't show you the way, just give the tools. This is the sequel of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I'd say it's not so required to play Breath of the Wild first. This one is bigger, and greater than the first in this style, so you must play it.
Link.
Have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, and if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences.
I intend to wage war, not parley.
More people. The best thing would be to recruit from your old comrades.
Well, if they're not already swinging on the gallows somewhere.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a realistic and immersive medieval experience, set in a first-person camera, with the most realistic combat ever made in a medieval video game. It was developed by Warhorse Studios, and released in 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. And if you want to play it, you must know that it's an extreme realistic game, in every single detail, combat, story accuracy, and world. The journey is long and slow, so if you don't like realistic games, you should take a better look before playing, cause it's really a medieval simulator with a hard but immersive combat system, a good story, and a very fun exploration, and can even be useful for you to explore how they lived back then, cause as I said, it's realistic in every detail. It's the sequel of the original game released in 2018. That's also a game that's worth to play over 100 hours. You gotta try it.
Will you help us, Henry?
The year is 2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces. With most of the continent degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last great megalopolises. A hub amassing the best in resources and know-how, and home to manufacturers of cutting-edge technologies, Night City continues to offer the promise of a civilized...
Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person action RPG in a shooter style. The story of the game is great and immersive, with amazing main and secondary characters and different endings. The game was developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2020 to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and in 2022 received the free upgrade to the new generation. And despite its launch wasn't very good, today the game is immensely better. It's set in a steampunk world, in a beautiful and nocturnal city, with nice missions, with different ways to approach them, and impressively good secondary stories, even with possible romances like The Witcher 3. In 2023 the game received a DLC, with a new map, characters, and even a better story and missions. So you've played the original game, but didn't play the DLC. You should. They added things that the original game was supposed to have at the launch.
Looking for justice. In Night City. I seek revenge. Much more feasible here.
In this world, consumed by never-ending conflict, sometimes only an outsider will get the job done.
Elizabeth tells me you have answers for us. I'm all ears.
And that's you, an urban mercenary, a cyber-enhanced gun for hire.
You seem to understand each other. Take this, too.
I saved you. And I'm here to save you again. Her parasites are merely a
More dangerous than you can possibly conceive. It threatens all who live. It threatens the gods, the weave, the very
Baldur's Gate 3 is surely the biggest tactical FPS ever created. It's set in a unique and impressive world, with a lot of different scenarios, characters and possibilities. It's serious. It's scary how insane the game can change if you make a small decision. The game was developed by Larian Studios, and released in 2023 to Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC, and the people that knew the series already knew that it'd be a huge game, but the rest of the world didn't know how good and impressive it'd be, and is now remembered as one of the best games ever, and even got the GOTY Award at TGA. What is so interesting in Baldur's Gate 3, beyond the graphics, gameplay, and scenarios, is the details. It's even hard to believe that a game could have so much possibilities. For example, if you choose to talk or don't talk to an NPC, it could change a huge part of the game, and that's just one example. Everything in this game will change something. That's wonderful. Believe what I say, this game is going to be remembered for more than a decade, as a game that a few people believed in, and the whole world was absolutely impressed by its amazing quality.
But you have something he doesn't. Allies worth having.
Together, we will strike down the Absolute.
The Tarnished will soon return. Guided by grace, once lost, order is broken to its core.
Elden Ring is the definitive Souls-like experience, set in a huge and immersive open world, with immense lore, challenging bosses, and impressive scenarios. The game was developed by From Software and released in 2022 to Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PS4, PS5, and PC, and in that year it won the Game of the Year award on TGA. If you've never played Souls-like, know that it's an action RPG, but with some specific features, like a bonfire, Souls mechanic, a sword of money, hard bosses, and much more. And Elden Ring is the biggest one so far, and the best one to start if you've never played none before. In 2024 the game received a great expansion, Shadow of the Erd Tree, with over than 20 hours of content, even harder bosses and enemies, and a new map, weapons and much more, so you should play it.
To be born.
I command thee now!
You are truly as he anticipated. This is truly an unjust game. But if my voice is reaching you, I beg you, please overcome this game and save the world.
I'll navigate your escape route. Follow my directions.
Get it, Joker!
Persona 5 is a huge and immersive JRPG journey, with a unique style. Usually this game is remembered as one of the best of its type, and that's true. It's an absolutely insane experience. The game was developed by Atlus, and released in 2016 to PS4 and PS3, but today you can play different versions of the game, such as Royal, on PC, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series, and that's really worth if you enjoy games in its style. Persona 5 is that type of game that you place you in a dark and fascinating world, with an absolutely amazing storytelling and characters. As you start to learn how things really works in the game, you'll start to feel even more immersive, because of its combat, characters, or even choices possibilities, so I highly recommend you. Usually Atlus create immersive and huge RPG experience, such as Persona games, but they released some time ago Metaphor ReFantazio. That's also a very interesting experience, but set in a fanciful
Gather
world.
personas and bring them here. Execute them and continue to give birth to even stronger personas. The world is not as it should be. It faces an inevitable utter ruin. However, mankind is said to hold the power to overturn even the most dire of predicaments.
I'm gonna break your fucking fingers. You don't knock that shit off.
Well, please, all right? You'd alleviate the boredom.
Ah, finally.
GTA 5 is one of the biggest games ever made, a huge action open-world game, and I'll not be talking about the multiplayer here, just the story mode. And despite you can finish the story in under than 30 hours, believe me, it's even more amazing if you try to do the extra stuff. The game was developed by Rockstar Games and released in 2013, and even got the Game of the Year, and was released to PS3 and Xbox 360, but in the next years it was released to PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and the PS4 and Xbox One version had some very interesting changes back then, as new features, textures, and even the first-person mode. The story of the game is good, but not a masterpiece like Red Dead Redemption 2 for example, but it was never the GTA style actually. It's more like a fun and impressive open-world game that mixed the reality of the moment, with a lot of sarcasm and smart choices, taking no sides, and making an amazing satire of the American world. GTA 5 was the first with 3 protagonists, and everyone loved it, so the next GTA, that's surely going to be a masterpiece, will be set with 2 characters, in the city of Vice City, a famous city in the series, and promises to be the greatest game ever made.
About work.
We are gangbanging like...
Stay in there too long, okay? Someone is gonna go. At some point.
You gotta be kidding me! Why did I employ a hacker who can't run antivirus software?
Shit, okay. The alarm hasn't gone off yet.
Everything can change in an instant, whether or not you're ready.
This wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in. This time I'm ready. Because I know war.
War never changes.
Fallout 4 is the last story-driven Fallout release so far. It's a FPS RPG set in a big and destroyed map, with an interesting story, and a very fun exploration and gameplay. The game was developed by Bethesda, and released in 2015, to PS4, PC and Xbox One, and in 2024 a free upgrade to the new generations was launched, but actually it wasn't as good as expected. As always in Fallout, the world was semi-destroyed by a nuclear bomb, and those who was on the shelters, or some in the surface, was able to survive, and now you must explore the surface, searching for answers, dealing with mutant creatures, raiders, and doubtful characters. In the start of the game you may feel kinda lost, but as you start to explore and discover the possibilities, you'll feel immersive in the game, with very good missions, with different choices that lead to different endings.
Our own future.
We're a man out of time.
This campaign will be costly, but in the end, we will be saving humankind from its worst enemy, itself.
I command thee now.
Those are the games, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Click in the like button and subscribe. In case you want, you can comment more games that's also worth to spend a long time playing. That'll be interesting. Thank you for watching, and so long.